Allegiance. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. All right, the first item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda, and I would move it.
Second.
Motion by Nelson, seconded by Dietrich. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passes 5-0. I forgot to mention Supervisor Bittinger is joining us by phone tonight, so welcome, Dan.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, on to the consent agenda. Items 2 through 6 constitute a consent agenda of routine action items to be considered by one motion. Items pass unanimously unless a separate vote is requested by a board member. Item 2 is approval of the minutes of the February 3rd, 2026 meeting. Item 3 is approval of claims. Item 4 from Human Resources, Melissa Thomas. Item A is approval of a memorandum of personnel transactions. And item B is authorization to initiate the hiring process. Item 5 from Secondary Roads, Laura Severs, approval of City of Mobile utility permit and permanent easement request. Item 6 from County Treasurer Tina Bertrand is item A, approval of resolution for the abatement of taxes for dream homes. Item B, approval of resolution for the abatement of taxes for initial CW. And item, we got a misprint there, but item D is approval of resolution for the abatement of taxes for Regency of Iowa. I would like to pull out item 5 for separate discussion, but I would move the consent agenda less item 5.
Second.
Motion by Nelson, seconded by Ung. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passes 5-0. All right, item 5 from Secondary Roads, Laura Severs, approval of City of Mobile utility permit and permanent easement request. And I would turn that over to Laura here.
Hello. The City of Mobile is, I believe, doing a water main project that's adjacent to our property and through some of our road sections. The concern I have with this easement is that we have an above-ground structure within the permanent easement. It's a fuel barrel and so, or propane fuel tank, and so I was just curious. I really haven't ever approved an easement like that where we have an above-ground structure, and so I thought that maybe the easement should not include that area around that. The design engineer didn't have any problem, but they don't have that easement created yet, the easement paperwork created yet for that. So that was my only concern with this. The utility permits were fine, but and the City of Mobile has a representative here if anyone would like to hear about the project.
Sure. Yeah, if you'd like to come up.
My name's Pat Smith, Public Works Director for the City of Mobile. We are trying to get a water project off the ground that we've been planning for quite a few years now. We plan to put a new water tower up, a new treatment plant, and 2 new wells. And to feed town from where we're at, where we are building the treatment plant, which is a mile south of the Highway 20. We're requiring these easements to get back into town and feed town from where we're having the water tower. And any support is greatly appreciated. That section of main there is going to be iron pipe, and from what I understand, it's going to be a trenchless. It'll be dug on both ends and then pushed in, or however they decide to do that. Any questions? I'd be.
So this is on the south side, Highway 20.
The easement is actually, it's coming from the south. Is that Humboldt? So it'd be the west side of Humboldt Avenue along where the county secondary roads shed is.
Oh, okay, yeah, where the permanent tanks are, just off the road there.
So this will be a 12-inch transmission main that will feed that side of town. We're gonna come all the way down that gravel road and hook into by where our community center is there in town. And we will have a separate line that will go through the farm field and feed our Sunnybrook addition, which is just to the south side of Highway 20. It'll hook in there so we can feed the town from two different spots in case we ever had trouble with one.
Is the main running through the ditch there, Laura, by the fuel tank or underneath the fuel tank?
Yep, it's not actually directly below it. It was just the easement request was for, I assume, a repair of a water main. Yeah, the main is gonna be directional bored, so, there is no disturbance. It would just be for future. And then, whether we own that property forever or not, maybe the next person wouldn't also want to have an easement, for a water main right there on top of that barrow location if they keep something there.
So you're looking for approval to grant the easement, and then they would have to draft the easement paperwork?
Yep,
Okay.
with just this little cutout, maybe a 10-foot by 10-foot area.
Sure.
Yeah. So I guess either approve it with that change, and once we get that paperwork, we could sign it, or table it until we have the official paperwork for the easement. The utility permits, like I said, are perfect, ready to go.
Does this slow you guys down if we table it till the official paperwork's done?
No, we're waiting on a couple more easements right now, so it shouldn't slow us down.
So,
Then I would, we'll just get everything in order and deal with it then, so I would move to table.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Nelson, seconded by Dietrich. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passes 5-0. All right, on to item 7. Secondary roads, Laura Sievers. Item A is award the bid for project ending in C097177, HA-97 to the low bidder, Christensen Brothers Incorporated, and approve the resolution directing the county engineer to sign the contracts once property paperwork is presented by the contractor.
yeah, so this project went through a DOT letting. We are taking a 36 by 24 timber bridge to 110 foot by 33 continuous concrete slab bridge. We had 3 bids, Christensen Brothers with a bid of $893,761.55. We had Dixon Construction with a bid of $910,290.90, and Graves Construction with a bid of $1,034,439.66. The lowest bid came in 1.5% below our estimate, so it's always good to have a little bit of savings. This road has an ADT of 60 vehicles a day, and the bridge is currently posted at 3 tons. So this will be a great project for us to do. I probably should say that it was on 120th Street, just east of, or almost a mile east of Eastland Avenue. This will be paid for with highway bridge funds.
All right, any questions for Laura? It's a heck of a bridge. I move approval.
Second.
Motion by Nelson, seconded by Kent. Supervisor Carper, sorry. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passes 5-0. And item B, approval of resolution for the commitment of funds and project management for STBG proposal on D12.
Correct. I have I thought I'd talk a little bit about this funding source for this project, and I have some additional documents to talk about that, if I could give those to the board.
I'll move to receive.
Second. Motion by Dietrich, seconded by Nelson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Opposed, same sign. Passes 5-0.
So every year, Woodbury County Secondary Roads is able to apply for, we call them RPA fundings. And what that is federal funds that are allowed to be used in Plymouth, Cherokee, Woodbury, Ida, and Monona County. We did receive funds for this type of funding last year. And with that, we may receive fundings for that this year, but when you're distributing federal funds through that many counties and that many miles, sometimes it might take us a couple times to ask for this type of funding. In the past, this funding's been around since 2015. Woodbury County's received $6.2 million from this federal funds out of the 29 million that's been distributed in these counties. And so what we're looking for is usually road projects that have, a higher ADT, so a couple more vehicles on it than some of our other routes. Obviously the road need to be repaired to be a good candidate. All of D12 is a good candidate, and so I tried to look for the worst part of D12 to seek funding from the rest of the counties in this area. I asked for 2.4 million, but last year, the most money that was distributed was 2.2 million, so we're probably not going to receive the 80% share that we can ask for. But it's still worth asking just in case no one else applies. It's still worth asking in case that amount is available this year. But we've been doing well with previous requests, and I'm hopeful, and if we don't get it this year, I'd like to bring this project back next year and again ask. But so a 2030 project, so that means that this would be construction in 2031. So you're also trying to, you're not looking at a Deer Run Trail project because those need to be done sooner than this project, and we have other funds for that. Again, I am looking for a resolution that says that if they give us this funding, we will make sure we maintain the roadway after it's done.
Any questions for Laura? I would move approval.
Second.
Motion by Nelson, seconded by Dietrich. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passes 5-0. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
Item 8 from WCICC IT, John Malloy, approval of a GIS Memorandum of Understanding amendments.
Hello, Bob Hine. I'm the GIS manager for WIC IT, filling in for John tonight. We've just got a couple of housekeeping items we would like to add to our existing MOU. One is a position title change, and another is just an update for our enterprise software agreement to be documented in that MOU as well. The one is a title change from just to a senior GIS analyst. And the other is just, again, wording or verbiage spelling out our enterprise license agreement. That's all of our software licensing for our desktop and our server software.
And this will have to be approved by all three entities, or have any of the others approved this so far?
No.
Okay.
I'll move approval.
Second. Motion by Ung, seconded by Nelson. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passes 5-0. Thank you, sir. All right, on to the budget review. Item 9. Item A, we'll start off with general services. This is in the general basic fund.
Actually, Mark, before, I have 3 sheets for you guys to receive.
Okay, I'll move to receive.
The first one is a calculation of the year of fiscal '26 ending reserve levels.
Okay,
The second one would be a max tax ask for the levy. And then the third one is what things would look like if you try to keep the levy with no change.
Okay.
So those are the 3.
Second.
motion by Nelson, seconded by Dietrich. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Passes 5-0.
Ryan, could you email me that document, please?
Yes, I can. And I just wanted, this is after Friday's budget hearings. This is where we are currently standing at. There, tonight, could potentially impact this, because if there's any decisions with gaming are lost, and then next week, we still have the medical examiner and the library to finalize. So that's where we currently are.
Did you want to present it on the screen for the YouTube or?
That's
Sure
up to
can.
Mar-
I'd like to.
Yeah.
Do you have it pulled up?
I don't have my.
Oh, okay, so,
Okay, so the first one is the reserve levels, is that?
Yeah, that's the first one. So that shows you where the current cash balance is, plus the budgeted revenue and expenditures for the rest of the year. There are 2 main adjustments I have, made with the additional revenue with the federal inmates, and then the additional costs for the health insurance. So that'll show that the general basic, right now, the estimate is about 10.8 million, which is on about a 28% reserve. And then the general supplement would be about a 5.5%. Rural basic would be 14.9, and then the budget for rural supplement would be 0. And right now, the max tax ask is showing that the general basic is limited. Last year was 3.817, and it cannot go above 3.706. And general supplement, in order for it to be a 0 balance, would need to increase to 2.79. And the debt service levy is calculated at 0.909. Rural basic could be increased to a max of 3.95, and that's why it shows that there'd be a, $2.3 million increase in the fund balance if we did, the max for rural basic. And then the last one, unless you have any questions. And this is to show that the overall levy for general would be 7.1. And if we kept it at that amount, it would have general supplement have a negative of 1.8 million. And rural basic would have a negative of 172,000 if the levy rate was maintained at the exact same overall level that it was last year. I said these are not final because we still have a few, budgets to receive.
Any questions for Ryan over any of those?
So
Okay.
then now,
Well, I think we're gonna just skip down to local option, because we've got a representative here from the Woodbury County Fair that would like to talk about their request, with they have a time constraint, and I feel bad that, Ryan and I, mostly myself, did not reach out soon enough, so I apologize. So let's go to item F, we'll do local option sales tax here, and take a look at that. So Ryan, if you wanna,
what I had
Take that
in the
off.
backup for that was what we have awarded last year. And then what the requests were for this year. And what we awarded last year, most of the requests for this year are similar to last year. The only one that did not have anything in the backup was the Expo Center, but that is a 10-year commitment of $150,000 per year. So the second sheet would show that if we approved everything that we've had official requests on, the unallocated funds for lost would be $652,000. So if you want to do the county fair first, we can do that one.
yeah. Jason, if you'd like to come on up.
Good afternoon, Jason Ingram from the Woodbury County Fair. We had a great year last year. We're currently working on buildings now. All of our buildings were built in about the same era in the 70s, early 70s. And so we got the 4-H building, we got that half done. We want to finish that up this spring with foundation and that. It's going to be about $75,000 into that building. We still have a couple other buildings we need to do. Got the show ring project going on. We have our first annual auction coming up March 7th in Anson. And so we're excited about that. And so, yeah, that's about it.
Jason, how many members make up the fair board?
36.
36?
Yep. 36 of us.
How many volunteers do you think
Oh, a lot.
log hours at the fair,
yeah, lot-
before,
lot of-
during, and after?
Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of hours. A lot of hours. That's for sure.
So the request is 40,000, if I'm reading that correctly, from the
Yes.
board?
Yes. Yep.
Any questions for Jason about the fair, about this funding? I hope you have a great turnout on the 7th.
Yeah, hope so.
And I think that as a former showman there, I know that those livestock barns and show ring are long overdue.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of excitement about what that can be. It's a great fair, one of the best in the state.
Yep.
And so you guys, you've got the space to do some neat things. And so hopefully people see this as an opportunity to contribute and give and help you guys be successful with that project, because I think it's badly needed. And I
Yep.
think we're number 1 or number 2 in the state as far as 4-H
Number two.
memberships.
Yeah,
And
number 2.
we have FFA in every school district
Yep.
in the county, which I don't think many counties could say that
Right.
either. So it's a very neat thing. So this be a move to receive?
The item is lost in the entire lost
Oh, for the entire
item.
loss, okay,
So if you want to review all of it and either
Okay.
receive or take out.
sure. No, we can we can review all of it, because we can look at some of the other ones, so. Any questions for Jason?
Thank you.
So
Thank
this is a $5,000 increase over last year.
Correct, I think it's
Request.
35 last year, yes. I don't know that it had been increased in my time. Do you know, was it increased every year? Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it'd been the same for a while. 35,000. All right, you want to go through some of the other requests?
Yeah,
Ryan?
the first one was the Expo Center. As I said, there's no formal request for that, but that one has $150,000 a year for 10 years, and we're currently on year 9. So it'll be this year and next year will be the final one.
Okay. Then we do not have a current request from the Siouxland Initiative. That's kind of a guess as to, it's what they
Yeah, what they.
have
was
requested
back-
in the past.
What was in the backup was actually the request for 26. I didn't notice that until after the agenda went out.
Yeah, so that one we should wait until we have more current request.
And the next one was a county fair, and that one you discussed. The next one is Simcoe memberships. The county in the past has agreed to pay half of the city memberships. And this year is $8,227.22. And last year was like $8,053.
Okay,
And the next one is the Simcoe Improvement Regional Housing, which has been approved in the past. And last year they asked for $23,322, and this year they're asking for $23,574.
okay,
And then it's the Lost Hills Alliance, and they asked for $2,000 last year and $2,000 this year. And then the Iowa West Coast, again, $5,000 last year and again, $5,000 this year. So those are what we have received for formal request from the Lost Fund.
does Los Hills Alliance have meetings, Matthew? Are you the liaison for that?
And then the other item that I haven't included is last year, $300,000 was transferred from the Lost to the Debt Service Fund.
Okay,
And before, right now, there is 652,000 that would be unallocated if all of these were approved tonight.
and you're recommending a move of 300,000 to debt service?
I would say if we want to, lower that levy, so, because I think it'd be the board's decision on how much they want to move to lessen the impact in other areas. That's the purpose is to provide, tax relief.
Yep.
So we probably just want to receive it and then figure that out after receiving everything in for budget wise, to figure out a number. Okay.
Did we do 300,000 last year, or was it 200
It was 300 last year.
from Lost and Gaming?
Yes.
Okay.
In the year before that, it was 250 from gaming to general sup and 250 to debt service. So 500 was moved out of gaming 2 years ago.
I'd be agreeable to 300,000.
Me too.
So do we need to move to receive as presented, less the Siouxland Initiative, because we don't have requests there, but with the addition of 300,000? debt service. Does that sound all right, Michelle?
Yeah, I
then
can
I will-
record that.
I will move that.
Second.
Motion by Nelson, seconded by Dietrich. Any discussion?
So that'll leave 377 in lost.
Yes, and that, as in the past, can be requested at any time by an organization that has a project. You know, like the Mobile Child Care Center, you know, requested it, like, I think like a year ago.
Yeah. I think it's a good amount. All those in favor,
Aye.
say aye.
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 Pose same sign, passes 5-0. All right, now we'll go up to general services. Thank you for being patient, I appreciate it.
Oh, it's fine. So our budget is status quo for the, I think since the inception of the Community Action Agency taking over the general services budget, the administrative costs have remained at 26,950. And then the budget for services would be 120,000. The difference this year, we lumped it into one place, knowing that there are several things that are unpredictable each year for us, which include the cost of burials. I'll remind you that this funding is used as last resort. So if anybody gets a grant for utilities or rental assistance, or even under COVID, FEMA did burials. So that year, we didn't have to pay for that. So it will be the same. We'll continue to look for other funding first. And then the county's allocations, we've always been able to just move that money within whatever line item we need to cover expenses. The bad news might, if there would be any, because might be that I think that we might be getting close this year as we went over last year. We had 3 burials just last week. So
Yeah.
that really is unpredictable for us.
Yes, we did.
Mr. Chair, if you can clarify, I'm not sure, I don't have last year's agenda, but I thought these were separate. We've got general relief and general
Admin.
assistance, and is it okay that we combine these in one motion since it's one item on the agenda?
I would think that would be appropriate, but we'll let Joshua weigh in.
Well, I think it's however the board wants to do it. Each sub-item is listed as action on the agenda, so you could do separate motions or potentially all as one motion, as long as the minutes reflect that all the different items were acted on.
But right now, we're just discussing general relief.
Yeah. So this is Jean. I know that last year they had a motion for the administrative costs, and then they had a separate motion for the rest of the budget. But
I'll move to receive administrative costs.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Ung, seconded by Nelson. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Pose same sign, passes 5-0. So then we need to receive the relief assistance. Yeah. So I would move that.
Second.
Motion by Nelson, seconded by Ung. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose-
Aye.
Pose same sign, passes 5-0. Thank you. All right, Youth Guidance Services, excuse me. This is Fund 0002 out of the general supplemental.
This is for juvenile care that is, submitted for payment by the Department of Human Sources or Services. And I had a discussion with Diane Foss of that department, and it's a hard number to predict, and she recommended the $100,000.
Did you have questions? I'm Diane Foss. So.
Thank you for coming, Diane.
Yep. It is a very hard number. I can see in years past, actually talking with Ryan, that we've had close to 100,000. I think this last year, we didn't realize it had gone down to the 75,000, but we were over at about 78. I know this year, when talking to Ryan, we haven't hit a very high number. Our staff is working really hard to find alternative placements for children that are in shelter, but we can't predict. We can have a kid in there for 30 days. We can have a kid in there for a year. But that's not where we want them. We want to have them in an appropriate placement, and the staff work really hard. And we do work with JCS as well, who have kids that are placed there. So it's just Woodbury County. It's $46.65 a day. So you're looking at close to $1,500 for a kid if they're there for a full month. So that it is, and it is an Iowa code. County is responsible. That is right now the rate that it is that the county is responsible for. But it is in Iowa code right now that the county has to pay that. So wherever you set that amount, it's still a responsibility of the county to pay.
So the only question I have is, I see in 23-24, you spent $98,875. Last year was $78,463. So it went down 20,000, which was great. But I see this year, year to date, you're only at 14.7, and we're more than halfway through the year, and you're about only
Correct.
a third or a quarter of the way to the budget.
And I can't guarantee that's the way it's going to be. I do know we see larger numbers of kids in shelter at certain times of the year as well. But yeah, I can't predict. And I did talk to our service area manager for our 38 counties on the western side of the state, and he did, request that it stay at the 100,000 versus the 75. But ultimately, it's your decision. But ultimately, you're responsible for that. I mean, comes out of the budget. So.
And last year, when I was discussing it with Diane, it was originally received at 100, but it got knocked down by 25 in subsequent discussions.
Yeah, it's just one that we can't predict. I do know
Yep.
our staff work really hard to make sure they get appropriate placement. It's been a high priority for the last 2 years of making sure those kiddos aren't staying in shelter any longer than they have to.
I would be agreeable to keep it at keep it at the 75,000 just for the pace that they're on this year. I guess if we're on the hook for it either way, if you go over, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but it could make a difference on the budget cycle, and hopefully you're on a better trend. Obviously, 3-4 years ago, things were very crazy expensive and out of whack. So it's trending in the right direction, but I would be more agreeable with that. So,
I'd agree with that.
work for you? Well, I would move to receive less 25,000.
Second?
Motion by Nelson, seconded by Dietrich. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passes 5-0. Thank you. Okay, item C, Department of Human Services. This is Fund 0001 from the General Basic.
And this is the, cost and reimbursement for providing the space to the Department of Human Services, which is required by state. The reimbursement is part of the Trosper Hoyt building, and it helps pay for some of like utilities and items like that, and then the office expenses.
If you got any questions. We've kept that budget pretty much the same. We worked really hard, I think, right before COVID, through COVID, to bring those numbers down so we could stay within that budget. And we haven't asked for anything additional since I've been doing this, so.
Yeah, and the trend here, looking back, is again your friend. It's coming, it's been coming down.
Yep.
Which is, always great to see. And so thank you to your staff for looking for ways to try to manage that.
I think our biggest thing is when we have building issues and
Sure.
we have to put money in toward that. I know, like, when I first started in the office up here in Woodbury County, we had some door issues, and those were the things that added up and that we just didn't have the money for, so we try really hard.
Any questions?
I'll move to receive.
Second. Motion by Dietrich, seconded by Nelson. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed,
Aye.
same sign. Passes 5-0. All right, item D, Mental Health Fund 0001. This is in the General Basic Fund.
This is a change from, actually, it was this year was the first year of it where the mental health is now, fully under the county, but the state reimburses the expenses. There's 1.5 employees in this department, plus then some, office expenses that's fully reimbursed, so the net budget is 0.
Well, that's pretty easy. I move to receive.
Second.
Motion by Nelson, seconded by Dietrich. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Pass 5-0. Item E, gaming, non-tax.
And this one is similar to loss, but it's, the gaming revenue through MERD and Hard Rock. The first sheet shows everything that was been requested this fiscal year and paid out. The only two that were requested during the budget hearing was the Meals on Wheels and the Siouxland Regional Transit. And the rest of them all came throughout the year. As you can see, last week we approved the ballot on demand hardware for $20,000. So at the end of the year, we would potentially have $230,000. And with the additional revenue, there are only 2 actual requests. Again, it's the Meals on Wheels for $12,760, and the Siouxland Regional Transit for $35,948 are the only 2 formal requests, and that would leave about $714,000 available for, other requests during the year are to be transferred into the debt service or the general supplemental fund. And last year, $300,000 was transferred into debt service. As I said, the previous year was $250,000 to each general supplemental and debt service.
Do you have a preference on which one we prioritize, Ryan?
No, and Michelle can correct me if I'm wrong, since, I'm still fairly new. I think what would happen is if you lower the debt service fund, that would give you the ability to increase the general supplemental fund. So really, I don't think it matters which one you go to.
We did 300,000.
Yeah, 300,000 for
To debt
fiscal
service
'26. And, a lot of these have been requests during the year that, as like emergency services asked because we couldn't do a vehicle. So they're all, it's kind of a fund that are for special asks that aren't in the normal budget.
Yep. Well, I would be agreeable to 300,000 to debt service again like we did last year. Open for discussion on that.
Yeah, I'd like to transfer either 300 or 400,000.
That's kind of what I was looking at, because if we do the 4, it looks like it ends up where we, like last year, kind of.
Yeah, pretty much exactly.
I'd be agreeable to the 4.
I'd be all right with 4 too.
I'll move to transfer 400,000 to debt service levy.
Second. Motion by Ong to transfer 300,000 from gaming to debt.
400.
Excuse me. Sorry, you're right. Motion by Ong to transfer 400,000 from gaming to debt service. Seconded by Nelson. Any further discussion?
If you could also receive what's on the gaming, if you want to do that in a second motion or within the same.
Oh, I'll amend my motion to receive as well. It's been proposed.
I will second that. So motion to receive plus allocating $400,000 to debt service. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passes 5-0. Ryan, if you would implement any of these changes tonight and send us some updated status of where we're at, that'd be great.
Will do, sir.
Thank you. All right, item 10 is reports on committee meetings. My calendar.
I attended along with Supervisor Nelson, the Woodbury County Assessors Conference Board meeting, and we approved a reduced levy rate and also made a change to the compensation increase for department head and wage plan to 3.5% increase that will be approved at a future meeting of the board.
One of the things that was talked about as we were looking at the budget and the amount of staff that our county assessor board has when compared to other counties of similar size, whether it be parcels or population, what was it on average? Other departments have 4 or 5 more staff than we have here. So props to the folks in that office getting the work done and being fiscally responsible. That's something that the taxpayers should be very proud of. Thank you for that, Matthew. Dave, Kent, do you have anything? Dan, you have anything?
Yes. Let me pull it up here. I was at me and Supervisor Dietrich were at the city assessor meeting and approved the budget. And so it was just a slight increase of little over, let me get here exactly here for you. Sorry. Just pulling up my notes here. Just roughly over $200,000 increase on the budget. And those increases were in the appraisal services and appeals in court and legal. And so pretty much maintaining a very flat budget and very minimal increases overall to the budget. So So that's on my only report.
Great, thanks, Dan. Item 11, citizen concerns. All right, seeing none, we'll move on to item 12, board concerns. There will be an LEC meeting on Tuesday, the 17th, 2 o'clock down here in the basement, the joint closed session. Afterwards, new authority member Tony Winger, it'll be his first meeting in that new role. So we'll look forward to that. And then we have obviously our board meeting at 4:30. Department head meeting is this Thursday at 1 o'clock, right? Yeah. Everybody excited for that? Pumped? Yeah? Ooh. I don't know, pretty quiet in the crowd, so I don't know. Dave, you'll be able to be there for that? Okay, wonderful. All right, I don't believe I have anything else. We do have, I guess, yeah, we do have Farm Bureau meeting Thursday night. They invite the supervisors out every year, so we will be at that. I do have, I know that the Department of Elections Facebook page shared it this weekend, but there is an infographic on social media about the town hall in Anthon on March 5th. Fine-tuning the agenda today, but should be able to have that out pretty soon. And so we'll look forward to hopefully a good-sized crowd in Anthon on March 5th. But for any of our county Facebook pages or candidate Facebook pages, if you'd like to share that, to help get the word out. And it's a great opportunity for the public to be able to come and engage. I think mostly they want to come and listen to Laura talk about roads. But until we get to that point, we can pretend that they're here for us. So, so anyway, but that's all I have. So seeing no other business, we are adjourned.